Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Caitlin, and today we are doing another Creepy Kids villain redesign rework. So last time we did Bowser, which is probably one of my favorite kids game villains, and there was a lot of really great suggestions from you guys. There were so many different suggestions and spanning a bunch of different games, but I would have to say probably the most commented one was King K Rool. So today we are going to jump in and creepify King K Rool and kind of design him as if he was in a Darksouls or Bloodborne game. So let's go ahead and jump in. I'm going to do a couple of sketches to try to figure out how I'm going to convert this more derpy alligator crocodile character into a very intimidating, creepy monster. Alright guys, so here is kind of my initial brainstorming sketches, and I'm already really digging this. So I added a little bit more of an extra grotesque feature to this one. So first of all, I thought it would be great if this was the version of King K Rool where he successfully kills Donkey Kong. So on the back you can see I added kind of a Donkey Kong pelt with the big gorilla hands, and just basically his skin is his cape. And I thought I could attach that to the red cape that King K Rool actually wears and make it really tattered and intense looking. And then in terms of the face structure, I really wanted to make the teeth really gnarly to match a crocodile look. And then I thought it'd be really interesting for his crown that sometimes in nature, specifically I think it's with boars, if they can't grind down their tusks, sometimes they grow through their skulls and up through their mouths, sometimes even out past the eyes or into the brain, killing it in the end. So I thought it'd be really cool if technically those crown bits are parts of its overgrown teeth. I don't know how I would exactly get it to work, but it'd be interesting to see it open its mouth and these things go in and out. That'd be really creepy to just see in the game. But I just imagine them being just some overgrown things that have gone through and blinded him and just penetrated his brain, making him crazy. I think that'd be really, really cool. And with that, we wanted to also feature a couple of his weapons. One of them is he does have that larger gun that shoots kind of cannonball sized things. I'm referencing Smash because I'll be honest with you guys, I did not have the systems to play Donkey Kong while I was growing up, so I did not play the game, but at least from what I know from Smash, he has this larger gun. And then my Twitch stream also let me know that he has a rapier and boxing gloves. So I decided to do the rapier and this gun to make him this really intimidating hunter pirate look. And then we have seen that King K Rool has a tail, but it's much more of a short nub. I wanted to make it probably a component for when you fight this creature in a Darksouls or Bloodborne style game, so I wanted to make a larger, longer tail with some spikes on the end of it. I have been informed the scientific term is thagomizers. I might be pronouncing that wrong, but I'm gonna add a couple more in the final drawing to make this tail like super extra intimidating. So I really like this design so far. He's super creepy. I'm really excited to jump in and give him like just this really menacing, creepy pose and just like color him and finish him up. He's super dope and I really like this. So let's go ahead and jump in, do the final pose sketch, color him, and make this guy an epic, creepy kids villain. So let's get started with this big, bad King K Rool. I was really excited to jump in and get this guy started. I really did like the initial pose that I did in the rough sketch, but I knew it wasn't really dynamic enough. I wanted a lot more motion and like action going on in the pose, and it's something I still feel like I personally struggle with, so I keep trying to push myself to do something cool and interesting. So my first thought was maybe it could be like he's walking towards the character and I'd make the like cape kind of flutter in the background to give some wind and some effect, and I couldn't really decide how I wanted him to carry the sword. Like maybe it could drag behind him, maybe it could be in front of him. And then I decided, you know what, no, let's do a like push the pose even more and try it in a completely different way. So I thought of doing something very dramatic in terms of like this pose would be much more like he's attacking head on against the character, maybe just making kind of a battle stance before his like big swing attack or gun attack or something. So that's kind of what I was going for with this pose, and it proved to be pretty difficult. I kind of dedicated to it, and I struggled a little bit with the legs and trying to position like where they would go, and there is some perspective that I did not do correctly, like with the leg. I think both legs need to be more tapered for perspective, since the character is much more, I guess because the top of the character, like shoulders and such, is towards the viewer more, so the legs underneath would be tapered a little bit more and under the belly more. Just little critical things that I'm noticing like afterwards. I was actually live streaming this, and if you guys want to watch me do art live, and I also host giveaways and other things on Twitch. Right now we're doing a subscriber giveaway that, well, I mean, I'm gonna continue doing this, but everyone who subscribed gets a free sketch. So if you go and check out my Twitch, I'd really appreciate it. You can go give it a follow, but I draw live a lot of the videos. I'm trying to record there and then post here, so some of the monster mashes are done live over there, and then this one was also done. But towards the end of it, my friend who was watching noticed that the perspective was wrong, and I was like, dang it, of course I missed something like that. This is what always happens right at the end after all the coloring. But even with that little flub, I still really love this pose. I think it's super like dramatic and dynamic and has a lot of good motion and feel to it, and I just love how creepy it makes him look. Like, just imagine fighting this giant King K Rool in like a dungeony, well, maybe not dungeon, since he's like a pirate, it'd be even better, like a cool abandoned pirate ship would be super dope. Like just this really run down, destroyed ship. Maybe you could hide behind like decaying masts or like something. I don't know. It's a lot to think about for this. Or maybe you could have these big barrels of like wines or things or whatever. Basically big barrels, and maybe you could hide behind those whenever he's gonna shoot with his gun. Or maybe there's something you could do with the sword. That's really tough. Yeah, I have to think about that more. But there's a lot you could do, and it would make it really interesting and a cool dynamic place to play in. And yeah, I would love to hear your guys' thoughts though. Like, I think I asked this for the Bowser one too, but if you could pick like an attack that King K Rool would do, I know he already has his attacks that are from the game and like from Smash Brothers, but let's think outside the box. Like, think about what maybe combo he could do against a player that could maybe knock them prone, or maybe kind of like a big finisher move. Something interesting, like maybe like a combo of his sword and gun in some interesting way, or I don't know. I would love to hear what you guys think. You can combine existing attacks, but I just would love to hear something completely outside the box, maybe using his tail. We got a lot of options, but let me know down in the comments if King K Rool was to have an attack like that would be in Darksouls or Bloodborne, that would match his character design, what would you make it? I'd be really interested to know, and please feel free to leave like, oh yeah, like you could dodge it this way, or like you could use this to deflect it. I love hearing your guys' thoughts. Like, I really wanted to get into game design or animation for the longest time, and I think one of my favorite things is just the cool animations and the little fight details that go into every game. It's just so cool, and I love studying them and seeing them, and it's just really cool when they're executed super well. So I love to kind of like fantasize about like, oh, if I made this a game, what would I do? So it's really fun to kind of think about that with you guys and go through some different ideas on how this could actually work in a practical video game. It was also really fun to do this live because we had some pretty cool stuff happen during the live stream. I'm going to clip it and put it on my Twitch clips, but we got a raid during this live stream from Jim Lee, and that was freaking amazing. Like, for those of you who don't know, Jim Lee is one of the like big guys with DC. It was crazy. I didn't even know it was him. I just saw it was like, oh, Jim Lee had a raid and like dropped 700 people in my chat. That was nuts and totally caught me off guard. And I was like, well, it can't be the Jim Lee. It's probably just a Jim Lee. And I'm like, nope, yep, it is the Jim Lee. And I was dying. So that was really cool. And I don't know if he's watching this, but thanks. Thank you so much, Jim, like, for dropping all those people. It was a really cool raid to experience. And then just having you in the chat was super fun. But that was really cool. And he talked to me about like the design of this character and like was asking me questions about it, so that was really fun, just kind of showing it off and talking to him and his community about what I was doing. And yeah, the creation of this was really fun, and I went back and did the reference back to the Bowser there for a second, because I kind of would love to put these all together in like a print series or maybe some interesting like lineup. So I kind of want them all to at least have similar shading and colors and such. So that's kind of, I'll be flipping between him and Bowser here and there just to make sure I'm on the right track for the coloring and the look. And I wanted to mention here for you guys, I'm going to go ahead and make this the Photoshop file of the month over on my Patreon. So if you guys would like to check out my Patreon and pick up this for the Photoshop file, so you can kind of see how I did my layering and what different effects I put in different areas, I'd really appreciate the support. I also have a lot of other cool things, like I do a monthly sketch postcard, which is an original drawing sent to you in the mail. There's also behind the scenes content. I've been sharing a lot of stuff. Like, I've been really on top of my Patreon. Like, any patrons out there know that I've been already showing some upcoming projects and like completed things like weeks before the video is released. And then it also helps and supports me. And I know, like, I hope you guys aren't getting tired of me plugging this. I just plug it every once in a while, but I would really appreciate the support if you can. And if you want to pick up the Photoshop file, whatever floats your boat. So we're getting pretty close to finishing this guy. We're kind of in the final stretch, and I have been really loving this series. Like, creating really cool, creepy villains has been really fun, and taking these video game characters and making them into something way more creepy and could go in a completely different video game genre has been really fun. I know that there's a little bit of concern going around on YouTube right now, which I have addressed on my Twitter and on my Instagram, but basically what we're kind of afraid of in the art community is having any type of cartoon character or something that could be seen as kids content could potentially demonetize us, and it's kind of scary that we don't really know what exactly is going to happen. God, I'm hoping that we're just overestimating. Like, part of me is like hoping that maybe we're just all overthinking it and it's not going to be that bad, but just as a heads up to you guys, like, I love making these and I probably will keep making them, but since it is a kids video game character, there is a potential that these videos will be demonetized and, you know, won't really get pushed anywhere, and the comments will be disabled. So just as a heads up, I'm going to keep doing these throughout the end of the year and into the next year and just see how YouTube's algorithm likes it or doesn't like it. But I kind of just want to let you guys know that's kind of a concern that's been on my brain. And we're just gonna have to see kind of what the new YouTube policy is come January. We're just gonna have to adjust, check out what they're wanting to do and how they handle the kids' content stuff, and go from there. But I hope you guys like this. I love this character, and he turned out super badass. Alright guys, and we are all done with this creepifying kids villain thing, and I absolutely love how he turned out. I was super into the Bowser one before, but I think King K Rool has now taken a spot in my new favorite creepify villain. I know there's only two, but this just was so cool. I had so much fun making this one. I really had a blast making them all dark and edgy, and then it was fun to figure out how to convert some of his aspects into something more creepy. I probably talked about it in the voiceover, but in terms of like the crown, I had the idea of like the tusks or like his teeth growing through his skull and just making him even crazier than he is, and then adding some extra little bits of creepiness like having the Donkey Kong skin as part of his cape. I just really loved, and just this overall design was super fun. I always love drawing reptiles, so this was kind of already going to be obviously one of my favorite ones to do, and I had a blast. If you guys have any suggestions of other kids villains that I could convert into really creepy dark soulified characters, let me know down in the comments down below. I know that we have some new YouTube rules rolling out in January, so it's going to make it a little bit harder to do like kids content and making like kids villains creepy, but I'm going to keep doing it for as long as I can. So message me what you guys would like to see converted to a creepy Dark Souls like villain. So thanks again guys so much for stopping by and checking out this video, and if you aren't already, you can go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I have new videos every week, and I would love if you joined our little community. So thanks again guys so much for stopping by, and I will see you all next time. Bye everybody.